Jess on his right. Hey, hold up. Don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning. Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. What's up, you beautiful people? Happy Thursday as we work our way through another week as we all lead to our impending deaths. Producer BBD, everyone live in the chat. We got all the classics: Andino, Fea, Jill, Galen, Travis, everyone on the YouTube machine, the Facebook, the podcast. We're killing it. We're hot in the streets. And so is sports. What a night from the sports gods. Me and BBD, we probably prefaced you a little bit last episode. We're debating doing some Thursday changes. We might do some drafts and some guests and things like that. You know, we talked one of the episodes, I think a week ago, we talked Hall of Very Good, Hall of Fame, nice. Hall of Nice for baseball. We'll be doing some of that. But today, the sports gods treated us to an absolute delight. LeBron versus Curry. Told you guys this was going to be the game of the night for sure come Thursday morning. It's the backup game of the night. And Little Poppy's going to share his gift with you guys. The Bakers, when I can. I love to burn for you. You've got one dialed up. BBD, if you'd like to lead me in to the game of the night, burn of the night, dance of the night.
Game of the night, burn of the night. Jake, on your mark. Get set. Let's burn.
The Texas Rangers host the New York Yankees. The Klubot, Corey Kluber, takes the mound trying to continue his good start to the season. And the Rangers try to find the yin to their yang as Jong is on the bump for them. Kluber looked 3 Marlenas type of good early. Calhoun, Solak, Garcia all strike out in the first 2 innings. Dansby Swanson doppelganger Charlie Culberson draws a 4-pitch walk in the third. Seems like an odd thing to mention. In the 6th, speaking of doppelgangers, Tyler the Creator Wade creates an earthquake with his RBI triple, scoring tonight's catcher, Higgy Smalls. Fellow robot DJ LeMahieu sack fly to give an insurance run for ID code 8176453, a.k.a. Corey Kluber. We're no hit into the 8th. I'm so gallo, baby. Joey grounds out. Chris Davis out. Kiner Falafel, 1 - no hits. Into the 9th. Buckle up. Charlie Sheen Culberson with the major league ground out. David gets all of that one, but Wade makes a nice snag in right. Willie Jim Calhoun is husky, but my dog, it is not your night. Kluber does Texas. 9 innings pitched, 9 Ks, 1 walk, and after a couple seasons of rehab, Corey says no, 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 as he no-hits the Rangers in Arlington. Yankees win on an almost perfect day, 2-0 Pinstripes. I just messaged the live YouTube chat and I said flames emoji, because that's all I can say to that. We got editor Matty Mass sent that over to him, so he's going to do a nice video of it. So if you guys want to check in on that later. A really fun night. We're obviously Yankee fans. A lot of you know that. A lot of you, honestly, in the chat right now are Yankee fans. You guys hop around talking Yanks. The start of all of this John Boy Media, talking baseball, all of everything. Man, what a fun night for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, a Yankees win is always a good start for us. Corey Kluber. Some absolute beauty in his no-hitter. A kind of controversial signing for the Yankees this offseason. Guy hadn't really pitched in a couple years. He threw 1 inning for those Texas Rangers on that very mound. Got hurt again. And pretty much everyone was writing his eulogy.
Yeah.
And then this offseason, he's a Cressy guy. He's got the workout. We hear a lot of things about, the scouts liked him. A lot of teams were there. What's it going to be? Should the Yankees take a flyer on this guy? Would it be 1 year, $5 million? What would it be? Something I forgot, and it's mostly bad brain. That was the Kluber news. I had totally forgot that. So people were tagging me in that, and I was like, holy smokes. That we got the news that it was 1 year, $11 million for Corey Kluber, and that was pretty scary. Because that signified a couple big things in Yankee land. That meant Masa was probably gone. Masahiro Tanaka, a guy that in Yankees land was so adored and loved and reliable. For a guy that hadn't pitched in a couple years, and what's he still got in the tank, and he's older. Awesome for him. And let's be honest. Full disclosure. Obviously, this season, everyone's realizing at this point, the no-hitters, we could see a little much. We could see another one by Monday. And that wouldn't be shocking. But, man, awesome for Corey Kluber. A little redemption for him, for his career. His season now, he had been good. He kind of had a little hiccup start. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, which again, not necessarily a hiccup, but it was, if I said this in the pregame show, Kluber can either bounce back and he could show that he's an elite top of the line starting pitcher, or if Kluber got hit a little last night, we'd be saying, okay.
Wouldn't have been shocked.
What's going on with Corey? Is anything falling off? Blah, blah, blah. Instead, his 6 innings, 4 earned runs, which for a lot of guys is a pretty decent start.
You gave your team the chance.
9 innings pitched, 0 hits, 1 walk, 9 Ks, a no-hitter for Corey Kluber. ERA on the season down to 2.86. Good for him. And, dude, part of what makes baseball so beautiful is, this was a 2-0 game. So in the 9th inning, Chapman was up in the bullpen. If he let one runner on, Chapman was coming in because you don't want him to lose that game. The fact that it was 2 runs, that gave a little more buffer. If that's a 1-run game, every pitch is nervous. Because that's the classic no-hitter perfect game to, well, shit.
Now we've lost.
Now we might lose. And, man, just the little things that, again, deeper cuts, and these are mostly Yankee cuts at this point, but Ryan Lamar starts this game. Pulls his hamstring. He does the grab the back of his hamstring running to first. Did we get the full diagnosis? Was it a pulled hamstring? I feel like the Yankees tweeted something.
They tweeted something during the game. Nobody cared.
Nobody
cared during the game.
It's the definition of, if you saw someone in a movie run and pull their hamstring, it's what happened. So it feels awful and it sucks for him. Clint Frazier
looks like the guy got shot.
Clint Frazier, who we thought should have been starting. We heard he had some neck issues going on before the game. He's technically the only outfielder on the bench. So we see him shuffling around in the dugout. Who comes out? It's Tyler Wade, who, was supposed to be a utility night for the Yankees. Played a little bit of outfield, not a lot.
They know they can use him there, but he's not. He's
not
a quote-unquote outfielder.
He would be listed as an infielder. he made some really nice plays in right field, and he had the RBI triple that got the Yankees on the board in this game. So those little fun notes that when this game is referenced for years that get mentioned, those are so fun. And BBD, I was talking to Patreon Sam this morning, and I mean, I think you're in the same boat for this a little bit, is that, she said the last Yankees no-hitter, 99, Cone, perfect game, she was 2 years old. You were 3?
I'm younger than her, so.
You're also 2 years old, maybe. Have to look at the dates. You had
2.
just turned 2. Okay.
2 weeks earlier.
So, my brain never even jumped to that. That this is kind of your guys' first seeing that on a Yankee field and not like a replay or here's some David Cone highlights or here's David
First
Wells.
no-hitter I've watched.
Right.
I've tuned into other teams' no-hitters at the end, but
never a Yankees one. And that's
haven't
where
had a Yankee one, haven't had just a game I was watching the whole thing, because how many not Yankee games do I watch all 9 innings of?
Right. And that was I think those, David Cone and David Wells hit at just a perfect time for me and Jimmy. Like, you're just old enough that you get what's going on, and
you get why it's significant.
Yeah, 99, I was 9, 10 years old, and you play baseball, and you've learned a lot. That, I just never put it in that scope. So to hear Sam say that this morning, and yourself, excited for you guys, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this year goes with no hitters, or if it's going to be like, that year,
it was the no hitter,
or if things do flatline a little bit, and it's funny that it's the same 2 teams, same 3 teams 2 times. So BBD, how are you? How was watching this for you?
It was cool. Sweeney Murdy had a joke after 3 or maybe 4 innings, saying well, normally I wouldn't even pay attention to it this early, but this year you can't rule anything out. Kluber has a no-hitter so far, and that's when I was like, okay, that it's a thing, and he gets through when he got through 5, so it's all right, it's still going. So I guess it's everyone's gonna get the notification soon. That was cool. I'm a sucker for any of these old dude comeback stories.
Yeah,
and
man.
Then, Susan got me at the end. She was talking about him being back now, and he did it obviously he pitched 1 inning for the Rangers, but
right,
that's cool. Just all of it. I had to fight the computer and stuff to get the Sterling call out there, so I didn't get it out till 20 minutes after the game because just nothing worked. It's the first time I've ever had that problem, so that was kind of frustrating. And my mom stayed up to watch that game and was texting me about it from upstairs. I was like, nice. I can't answer these texts right now, Mom.
Mom, I would love to text you back, but
the whole thing. But first no hitter I've seen. It was cool. It was cool.
It's cool, and BBD, I know this is deep cut talking Yanks stuff, but Higashioka, the catcher, who's a friend of ours. We did an interview with him at spring training a couple years back. Awesome dude, super humble. The man, quiet but in his own way, and likes the stuff he likes. I might have to dig through that Twitter conversation I had with him a little while back where he was like, "Oh, I like to surf. I like Liverpool. I like music." It's all right, man. He likes what he likes.
Yeah. I think he goes all out on liking those things.
Yeah. So really stoked for him. He had some awesome press conferences after the game. Kluber, not so much. He is who he is. He's the Klubot. It's not a joke.
Yeah. He got as emotional as he can get.
Yeah.
Teared up a little bit, and it was shocking.
So if there's a couple things that if you're listening to this and, you're trying to distract yourself for a little bit, I would go find Higashioka's interviews. He talks about how nervous he was between innings. He said he was having mini panic attacks and trying to hide it from Kluber, and that's really good. And then the other thing, which these Yanks, man, as a fan base, sometimes we feel a little deprived. the celebration pics tweeted out by the Yankees Twitter account, I don't think they understand how much that does for us as fans. Like, seeing Corey Kluber in the dry cleaning cart getting beer poured on him, like, that means so much to the fans. Like, that's what we want. You know, we root for pinstripes, and the team changes so much. Like, go back to those romantic 2017 Yankees and look how much roster turnover there is.
How many of them are still here?
You know, you root for the guys wearing the jersey, sure, but at that time, you're rooting for the guys. Like, you know, you like their stories, you like who they are. So seeing old man Corey Kluber in the cart, that means a lot to Yankee fans. That when you're rooting for a team, you want to know that your dudes, you know, have some genuine like for each other. And it's not just they're going to work. It's like any company. We've started to love what we've built here because people are friends and people enjoy it. And that's what you want from your sports teams, too. So, really exciting stuff. In Yankee land, another no-hitter, and I get it. And John was getting some mini roasts in the DMs because he had tweeted out no more no-hitters. And then he did reply after, unless it's the Yankees, and that's, you know, the part the internet's never going to understand. And I almost get it from the fans, too, and I bet, you know, I'll talk to John Belaya later. You know, we've got Talking Yanks pregame show coming up. We got the Talking Yanks record coming up. I did feel a little bit for Tigers fans, and I think Mariners was the other one he missed. Or maybe it was someone against the Mariners. I forget. John Means.
John Means was against.
So it was Means and Turnbull, and Jim didn't do those two as breakdowns. And I did.
Means one.
I don't know. There was two he's missed. Or wait, Miley. Excuse me. Cincinnati.
Means I feel like we would have got because no. Disrespectful to Miley. John Means is good.
Yeah, I did understand where the fans were coming from because I mean there's a couple like passionate messages. They were like, "This means a lot to us," and like, you know, Jimmy.
Well, it is your team that does it.
The breakdowns kind of mean a lot to the game right now. So I got it, but I also very much get it from Jimmy's side.
Those are the ones that take kind of the longest because he's got to collect information. He wants to make
he wants to do it full tilt. Yeah.
And we've had 6 of them.
Yeah.
6 in 6 weeks.
Maybe
7 if you include Bumgarner.
Maybe I'll start doing like the Jake Downs of the week. 1 minute Wade Miley no hitter. We'll see, but. So that was really exciting. Obviously, it's a little more important to us than probably everyone listening to Jake.
Kluber doing it is noteworthy around baseball.
The story's pretty cool. I mean, I'm excited for Talking Yanks later. I know one start shouldn't change your outlook on someone, but if Corey Kluber is a version of that guy, or a version of his last 5 starts, BBD, I saw you tweet that out, and what coincides with those 5 starts is the switch to Higgy.
Yeah.
So over his last 5 starts, Corey Kluber, 35.1 innings pitched. The team, or he, is 5-0.
Team is 5-0. He's 4-0.
He's 4-0. The team is 5-0.
He had no decision in the Nationals game. I think that was the extra inning game or something.
Damn it, Nats. Yeah, that was the Scherzer 1,000 strikeouts. 36 Ks in 35 innings, a 1.78 ERA. Opponents are hitting 171. If Corey Kluber is the Klubot, that changes the Yankees' outlook for the season. If they have Garrett Cole and Corey Kluber, you know, you can pick up the scraps in Games 3, Game 4 in a playoff series, and holy smokes, that changes their season. So, exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. We'll talk about that on Talking Yanks later.
I mean, Yankees, not to go too
Please.
deep, but, you know, his first 4 starts of the year were at best nondescript and in several cases bad. He didn't get through 5 innings. He comes out, he has that game against the Orioles, and where he goes 6.2 and 1 earned run. The Tigers, he goes to 8 shutty, but it's the Orioles and Tigers.
Orioles
and
and
he comes
Tigers.
out against the Nats. It's a good start, but it's 5.22 earned runs,
Yeah.
nothing crazy.
Take it.
And then he faces the Orioles again and gets beat around a little bit, comparatively, the 6 innings, 4 runs. So it's like, was that just he got to face the Orioles and Tigers for the first time? And
Right.
That's, the first time you face a team that's advantage pitcher most of the time. So, I mean, he gets beat up last time. Then we look at those few games. It's like, oh, put together a few nice starts in a row. But
And, man, it's,
pumpkin.
It's where baseball's wild. I mean, Corey Kluber, where we've had these mixed emotions, and, his second start was pretty tough, 2.13 earned. There was actually 5 runs, 62 pitches. Depending how you chop it up, like that Baltimore start, 6 innings, 4 earned runs is almost his worst, like, real start, which, when you start looking things through that scope, is pretty wild. I don't know. I'm excited for Kluber. We've talked about it a lot on Talking Yanks. This was a big gamble for the Yankees. 1 year, $11 million. And, James Paxton, who got signed to a pretty similar contract, he was 1 year, I think, $8 million with pretty easy incentives to get to 10, 11. It was like if he makes 5 starts, I think he got $1 million. If he made 10, I think he got $2 million. And he got hurt, and he was on the Yankees. And, we had that debate. Like, would you rather have Paxton? Because at least he'd been pitching in New York.
He's been here, and when
and
he pitches,
performed to a decent degree when he was healthy. So that's enough Yankee stuff. If you want more of that, check into Talking Yanks later. And we'll have the pregame show today, probably around 11:30 noon. We'll see when the Yanks roll that out.
Over his last 5 starts, opponents 469 OPS. Nice. Which means he's basically turning every player he faces into Martin Maldonado.
Ooh, hot.
So
Hot.
catchers hitting funny stuff.
I mean, Ryan Lamar is going to be a trivia question.
Yeah. I am getting very close to some rude. I didn't come too close to tweeting because it would have been rude, but sending some texts around. The no-hitter doesn't happen if Clint's out there. That 9th inning play by Wade, Clint doesn't get to that.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
For sure. BBD, there was a massive basketball game last night. Your Spurs versus your Grizzlies. No, I don't really care about that. Memphis Grizzlies beat the Spurs, if that does something for anyone. I like Dylan Brooks. I don't know. He's a ball player.
They're building something neat there.
What a ball player does. Coach Ball Game ad. BBD, we thought this would be the game of the night. We almost didn't plan stuff for this episode because we knew this game would be happening. Golden State playing the Lakers in a win and you're in game, not an elimination game. A win and you're in. And, man, the Lakers got off to a horrible start in this game. 22 points in the first, 20 in the second. They were down, 6 plus 7. They're down 13 at the half. And they were just playing awful basketball. I know the tweets were flying. My buddies were texting, and they were like, God, the Lakers look like dog shit. Like, there was no BSing around it. Draymond was playing that, special Draymond defense for a little bit. Golden State, Curry's making shots from everywhere. I've given my Curry speech on here so many times, and it's just kind of the best. When he's on and the shots are falling from wherever he wants, it's just kind of the best. It's like, if you've ever played basketball, you've dreamed to play like Steph Curry. And so he's doing that for a little bit, and you're wondering, okay, what's this going to mean? Are the Lakers going to lose this game, and then they're going to be in an elimination game, and then everyone's going to be getting their NBA's rigged tweets off because no way the Lakers would lose to miss the playoffs against.
They're not letting LeBron miss
against
the
San Antonio. LeBron turns it on, and he hits at the end of this game. So they come back. We are tied at 91 with 5 minutes, with 5:42 left. Then we're going back and forth. 80, Steph Curry. Schroeder, Jordan Poole with the 3. Steph Curry, Golden State up by 3. 80 free throw, LeBron free throw, 80 dunk. The Lakers are up 100-98. Curry makes a pair of free throws. The shot that everyone's talking about, if you're not a big NBA guy, LeBron James, shot clock winding down. Essentially a minute left in the game, tied at 100. Ball gets kicked out to him, deep 3. Curry's coming out on him, drains it. It's cool, man. I mean, even if you're not a LeBron person, I mean, that's a shot you gotta cheer for. That was a badass shot. I mean, Curry basically said after the game, when a shot like that goes in, that changes the game. I know that sounds dumb, but that's kind of a shot that's not supposed to go in.
There's nothing you can do as the other team.
That's a possession that Golden State won. LeBron James is shooting a 34-foot three-pointer. And not from, his spot. LeBron's spot is
his feet weren't set. He wasn't in, the normal shooting position.
LeBron has that spot kind of on the other side of the wing where he's kind of his Luka area. That's just his three-point shot.
He's comfortable from that angle.
It's kind of the other side of the court. 34 feet, he drains it. Rebound, they play defense. Wesley Matthews misses the 3. Caruso with the offensive rebound misses the tip. And then Warriors timeout with 2.1. I don't think they even got a shot off. Bazemore, bad pass.
Yeah.
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in parentheses, my guy. So Lakers win that game. So they will be the 7th seed. They play the Suns, which did make my heart sink a good chunk for Chris Paul. Fuck, man. You lead the Suns to a 2 seed. The Phoenix Suns, kind of a joke of a franchise. Sorry, Kotuck. I love you, but the Suns have been a joke for a while.
As much of
since Steve Nash and Amari.
Since the Nash Amari team, they've been what's the word I'm looking? They've been basically irrelevant for a decade. I guess they've had years of being one of the worst teams too. So.
Since Steve Nash, Amari, Sean Marion, those fun teams, which again, that's going back years now.
That's I don't remember those.
Yeah, what's another Suns team? What were the 2012 Suns doing?
There was the 50-win team that missed the playoffs that Hornacek coached.
Jeez.
I remember that team. It was
50?
I believe they got 50 wins and they missed the playoffs. And meanwhile, the East, it was one of the most drastic West versus East years. There's teams below 500 in the East making it, and the Suns. They finally had a good year. I think they had the 3-point guard thing with IT, or maybe IT came the next year. Bledsoe, Dragic.
Let's get some Phoenix Suns up. So I'll say this. I mean, hey, Monty won Coach of the Year and took that from Tibbs.
Is that the Coach of the Year award? I
think so.
It's the other coaches voting, so I'm sure that's the one Tibbs would prefer to win if it isn't.
So let's see. The Hornacek team won 48, which
it's 48.
50 counts there, yeah.
Yeah.
God, who was on that? Here we go.
Was that one of the IT years?
Goran Dragic.
I knew Dragic and Bledsoe.
Dragic, Bledsoe, PJ Tucker, Gerald Green, Channing Frye, Miles Plumlee, the Morris twins. That's your 8.
Both Morrises still.
That's your 8. No IT. They
I think
did
he
have
would have been the next year.
They did have Ish Smith and Shavlik Randolph, Duke great, as the 13th man off the bench.
Yeah, they did some 2-point guard starting lineups that at the time was considered fairly revolutionary.
Yeah.
It was oh, they're doing that. And it was right before 3-pointers were like really took
And
off.
I guess where Suns fans could be mad, in 09-010, they went to the conference finals with Alvin Gentry as their head coach. Amari, so this was
The last Amari year.
35-year-old Steve Nash, 27-year-old Amari, Jason Richardson, Grant Hill, Channing Frye, Jared Dudley, woo, Robin Lopez, Goran Dragic. Holy crap. Alondo Tucker, Wisconsin great. Taylor Griffin. You know who that is?
So far he's the one I'm missing.
Blake's brother.
I didn't know Blake had a brother.
He was the first pick of the Harlem Globetrotters draft. Wow, I did not know T. Griff got run. That was the only year he got run. Holy smokes. Taylor Griffin sighting. Wow. That kind of shook me up a little bit. So
8 games.
So what do we need to know for NBA, you're saying, Jake? Well, tonight
is the do or die in the East.
we have a time for the Knicks game Sunday? 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Interesting.
It's like the perfect one for us. The Yankees are a day game.
Interesting. I just saw the Homer draft, 15 minutes. Do we need a pick?
We do still need a pick.
Do we go to Randy again? Is that just sick stuff?
He is
He's
starting.
the GOAT.
Feels gross.
Let's go. Sorry, that's a little teaser. We're going to be doing some all-star activities, and Sales Courtney just had some good news.
Oh,
So I'm excited for that.
something good.
That's
Red
awesome.
Sox against Steven Matz is kind of stands out. They've got
Has
righties.
Matt still been good?
His overall numbers on the year are bad. I think his last start was good, but like the 3 before were bad. Swerving versus the Astros.
Final thing on the Phoenix Suns, because, hey, you're probably sitting there saying, hey, they're the 2 seed, Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Got a lot of young wings, DeAndre Ayton. The Lakers are a minus 300 favorite to win the series. And that's just tough for a 2 seed. That's tough, man.
I mean, I guess the alternative was they were going to get Steph, but I think they'd still feel good about beating that.
You would take...
They wouldn't be favored. The Warriors wouldn't be favored over them. You would pick facing even Steph playing as well as he is. You'd pick that facing.
I did this
facing
last
that team
step, and
over the
I don't
Lakers.
want this to feel like I'm throwing dudes under the bus. Know who the 3 guys off the bench for Golden State were last night?
Yeah, we talked about it in the group.
Michael Mulder, Toscano Anderson, and Poole. I mean, off the bench for the Lakers, Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews, Caruso. Like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So, no shots fired at the Golden State bench, but yeah. Hopefully that's a good series. Man, it'd be a really cool notch for Chris Paul's belt, which has a lot of weird notches on it. A lot of notches people like to argue against. If he could get a playoff dub over LeBron,
He can win a series against LeBron.
that would be really good for him. That being said,
And he showed up in the Suns. He was the number one thing that changed, that made them good. And it thinks he gets LeBron in the first round.
brutal. I mean, absolutely brutal. Tonight in NBA land, Pacers and the Wizards play an elimination game. It's exciting. Wizards favored, minus 3.5. I would have lost that bet. I mean, this is where people kind of win the NBA play-in argument. Also, who cares? This is kind of fun. Both these teams are 34 and 38. Like, that doesn't do much for me. That's not too exciting. Tomorrow night, Grizzlies-Warriors. That's actually kind of fun. The Grizzlies have a fun young core, so it's like the Grizzlies' fun young core versus Steph Curry. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
See if the NBA tries to get Stephen Curry. BBD.
Phillies Marlins, that's the other matchup that kind of sticks out.
Ooh. Oh, right. We still need a homer draft, right?
Either end of there.
Okay, let's see. Dude, let's go Randy. Dean Kramer? Randy's the GOAT. I blew it last night. BBD suggested Haniger or Randy, and he said, I really like the AL East stack, and I blew it.
Wanted to stack up on AL East Randy's.
I wanted to go time. I wanted the West Coast and the early game. He's the best ever. And someone in the chat has been yelling about Randy because he hit 2 homers and he robbed one yesterday. And there's like, if Judge did that, you guys would be screaming. And absolutely you're right. 1,000%. But Judge didn't. So, I don't know. Any other highlights from last night? Giolito threw a gem. 8 innings, 2 hits. That beat the Twins as they continued to die. Also, new Chris Rose rotation, Lucas Giolito and Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, really cool. I mean, is there an argument that he's like the biggest John Boy Media guest ever? Athlete-wise?
Probably, yeah.
You could put Costas above him. And then it's like him or
think
Yelich.
About, like,
him, Yelich,
guys
Bauer.
who, like, don't like, get interviewed. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was doing. Like,
Bauer does stuff.
Bauer does a ton of stuff, which, you know, I don't want to hold that against him, but, like, a Max Scherzer interview, I've never been like, oh, damn.
He he went on R2C2 like a year ago.
Okay. That was it.
Yeah, that's the only other time I've heard of him doing like a long form thing, which is cool.
Tatis homers, 4 for 4 in his return, and I think he had a big stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. I think we tweeted out that. Gossman, 6 shutouts. Like, check out what that dude is doing. Giants are kind of for real. Rogers for the Marlins is making me look like a genius. He was my deep cut rookie to watch this year. He's now 6-2 with a 1.74 ERA. I'll take that credit. Why not?
I feel bad. We haven't picked against him in homer draft stuff, but like he sticks out because lefties stick out to me when I'm just looking for a matchup.
Sure.
So every time I think about it,
let's see.
It's just in my brain. Marlins.
Red Sox.
But I know he's good.
Red Sox do the dub. Braves get a late win off the Mets. Did they walk off? Did Acuna walk off?
Is that what happened? I know he did stuff.
Let's see. I think Acuna homered. No, Acuna walked off. What? Did I not see that on the internet?
And
how did that not come across my feed?
The ESPN like headline just as a homer in the 9th.
Why does it say that?
Throw the word walk off.
Why does it not say walk off? Braves, what the hell? What?
I guess that could have been a game of the night.
I'm just like mad about that. How do I not know that? The hell? We have so many Braves connections. Whatever. I'm not going to get mad about that. Life's too short. PBD, anything else that needs to be mentioned in the wide world of sports?
No.
Tebow officially signed
Tebow's
with Jags. I had some mixed thoughts on that. Like, I also don't care.
I'm not losing sleep over it.
Like, people kind of care too much.
Both ways.
Like, I don't know. They brought in a guy with a pretty impressive athletic history to try out for the team. Who gives a shit? Probably not going to be good. What if he is half useful? Let them find out. I don't care. Let's see. AB must pass physical. Couldn't care less. Yeah, I think that's it. The PGA Championship kicked off in the golf world. I'm excited for that. Would be nice to get a little golf. Watch a little golf this weekend. Maybe I'll hit some golf balls. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see the leaderboard. As of Thursday, 10:56 a.m., your leaders are Cameron Tringale and Matt Jones and Keegan Bradley. We went through a phase in late high school, early college, where we'd say each other's names backwards. It was Ekaj. Kind of liked it.
Just first names?
Yeah. We knew the last names, too. Ekaj Alerots. Double E's. It's kind of badass. We had a friend, and the only person I've known Keegan in my life, and Keegan backwards is Nageek. It's just funny.
Geek.
It's David. It'd be Divad.
Divad.
There's a lot of Divats.
Yeah. In the high school senior year, you do the, like, changing your name to something.
Can you do Mendelssohn?
No Slednum.
No Slednum.
I didn't get creative with that. I just
Kinda
put my name
badass.
backwards. Because in theory,
Okay.
I don't know why people thought colleges were going to look at that.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, change your face, so colleges can't find you.
Okay.
It's like, well, also, I, like, was a good kid. And didn't,
Right,
Like,
yeah.
nothing was on there that was going to make, but everyone was doing fun stuff. So
Yeah,
you, gotta
you
get
just-
in.
It was one of those things that it, like, wasn't worth it
Yeah.
to not. Watch some golf this weekend. Kiowa Island, South Carolina. I've got a story. I said I'm going to start doing Thursday story time about Kiowa Island. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kiowa Island, South Carolina. This isn't my story. This is my father's story. So if he's watching, my dad was a little bit of a hippie, turns out, and he had a afro for a little while. See if I can get some of the pics. He had an afro with a pretty big underbeard. It was a look. Some old school glasses. He said he had a friend who was, and who knows how this story's changed over time, but it's still a good time. He had a friend who was like a military general or something on Kiowa Island. And the dude got married, and he had like a bachelor party of sorts, like on the military's like base. And so because he was friends with the guy, my dad got like full run. Like they let him roam around and shit, and he had like a badge that's like, I know that guy.
I'm allowed to, like, do what I want, basically.
So yeah, so going back to the times, military, picture the military, and then picture my dad, the hippie, with an afro. Like, he would drive around campus in, like, I think a convertible, just, like, blaring tunes, and everyone was like, who the fuck is that guy? And then I think the story ends with them at a bar, and he, like, every new time that a new military person came in, like, everyone kind of tightened up and was like, who the fuck is that guy? And then they figured it out, and they're like, oh, okay. So that's a my dad on a military base, Kiowa Island story. I guess my story that I can spin off of that, I had buddies who were frat guys, senior year, and if you know buddies that are frat people, their senior year they give up and they hate it because they've already been through it all, and it's ending. So I think you mentally tell yourself to hate it.
Yeah, you kind of have to start hating it, otherwise you'll
Yeah.
be kind of sad.
Yeah, so, they had some guys that were rushing the frat, and they did a lot of the classic stuff. They did Cap'n Crunch, and it was Captain Crunch with Captain Morgan, and then they'd have to, like, run. It's pretty gross. I got into it after a little while, because they're like, if you need anything, just let them know. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then after a while, you're like, so I tell, like, guy to get me a beer, and he'll do that? Yeah. So that was kind of nice for a weekend. Kind of felt luxurious. College luxurious. Long story
Not doing anything crazy.
Well, long story short, I I almost lit a kid on fire. He was rushing. He fell asleep with a Domino's box on him. And I think there was a candle or something was on fire. And then I lit the box on fire, and it was on him, and it was funny. And then, like, he never caught on fire, but it was like, it was definitely like a whoa.
I guess if I was like one tier less aware of what was happening.
You can ask the kids for beers, but let's not pretend to set them on fire. So, yeah, double burn today. So that's a couple stories from me and my pops. I'm not very proud of that story, but you guys know.
Trust her.
You're young. It was a mistake. Apologize to the kid. BBD, let's start tidying up a segment we do on the show that we call the comment of the day. Bakers, I ask you guys to leave a comment. Bake the algorithm. It's what we're saying. I've been seeing bake the algorithm comments across John Boy Media. I saw some talking baseball, bake the algorithm. I love it. Leave a comment, hit the like button, share with a friend. All of it helps. Raising tides, raise all ships. I keep messing that one up. We're up to 227 on Wake and Jake. On Monday, I expect to see 2-3. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're keeping chipping away. 2-3, 10K, a million. That is the game plan. Baker's couple good comments last episode. Travis Smith, who's in here all the time, he said 2 days ago, rewatch crew checking in, pushing the view count. I love that. Fresh Juice said, when I get married, I want to walk down the aisle to one of Jake's burns, ... I'm currently single. So, Fresh Juice, I don't know which way you lean or what you are or what you want to date, but if you want to put that out there, we can find something for you. And then Michael Werner had a really good sports comment. And when I tell you guys I'm looking for sports comments, I want you to bring me into your sports world because it's tough to remember everything. And, like, this is something that I would never remember. But he said, as a Mavs fan, I'm excited about the Clippers matchup because they bounced us last year in 6 after Porzingis got hurt. So, like, yeah, if you're a Dallas fan, that means something to you.
Yeah.
Like, Luka's better.
Excited to rematch. And
Luka's better. Porzingis is here. Like, yes, that's like a great story out of Dallas that I just casually wouldn't have put together. So thank you for that. And I think the final one, Matt Haggerty, my girlfriend and I went to the Twins game on Monday where they were blown out. She said that Donaldson hair makes him look like a Donald Duck, and that will remain with me until I die. So, sports all over the spectrum. Our guy behind the scenes, Bill, who's in Arlington. He might have went to the game last night.
I don't know. I know he
went
was going to go to
Monday.
at least one or two.
So we'll see. If Bill was down there and he didn't go, he's got to be kicking himself. But Bill on the game Monday, he said someone in the stands, like something silly in the game happened, and someone yelled, like, can't wait for the breakdown of that. So Bill, like, turned and was like, oh. And I guess they started talking, and Bill was like, yeah, John Boy Media, blah, blah, blah. And the guy said he was a huge Wake and Jake fan.
Huh.
So I didn't get a name from behind the scenes, Bill. But if you're probably listening right now, gentleman that was at the Yankees-Rangers game on Monday, thank you. Thank you. And everyone else.
I had a guy I went to high school with, like we're friends on, we still follow each other on Instagram and everything. He lives in Dallas now. And he was at the game last night, Yankee fan, and then it's just. But he was at like Texas Live, which I mean everyone I guess
Texas
goes there,
Live,
but we were there, not that long ago.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
What BBD before we do bro of the night, and I'm gonna cop out. It's Kluber. I gave a full rant on it, the whole thing, the comeback story, the no hitter. In Texas, there's so many moving parts to it. It's fantastic. So I don't need to do another one of those. BBD, people are asking for our NBA Finals prediction. I haven't kind of put too much thought into it. I guess where I'm at is I'm not gonna I'm putting the Nets in the finals. They have the 3 best players to ever be on a team with each other. I'm just not going to bet against that. I think that hurts some people's souls a little bit. I mean, I am a Knicks fan. We just did a Talking Knicks last night, which was really good. It's really good. Go check that out. But we also know those 2 teams have different plans. The West, man, I kind of got nothing.
Yeah, I just don't pick against LeBron before the finals. I mean, I don't pick against him in there either.
Yeah.
But he has the ultimate benefit of the doubt there. Oh, but this year even more so than other years, he can easily get bounced in the first round here.
Right.
So.
I think
it's a whole, and the West, anything could happen. Just LeBron's the only one out there who's made the run before.
I think if I had to like actually put even $5-10 or whatever it is, and maybe this is me being a little different, and I haven't seen a lot of expert opinions. How about the Clippers? Paul George and Kawhi, ton of 3-point shots, and their path, which I do think might be important in the West. If they beat the Mavericks, which they should. Mavericks are good, but they should beat them.
I would expect the Clippers to. Mavericks absolutely can.
They would get the winner of Jazz versus either Grizzlies or Golden State, which, no offense to the Jazz, but, the winner of Suns/Lakers, which leans Lakers, that's still a tougher matchup.
Yeah, the Jazz feel like... I mean, they're the number 1 seed for a reason. They've had an amazing year, and they have a ton of advanced number stuff and plus minus. They've had some of the most efficient. They're one of the most efficient teams we've seen. They just have the vibe of I believe they do it in the playoffs when they do.
Yeah.
And I guess you can say similar things about the Suns.
A lot of teams.
Chris Paul is there. Obviously, his whole thing is he hasn't done it yet.
Right.
But,
yeah.
But it feels they feel more legitimate.
How can
And
you?
they have the go-to scorer in Booker. Not that Mitchell can't do that.
How can you fully buy into the Jazz, the Suns, or the Nuggets, the top 3 seeds? You can't. You can tell me you like those teams and you could pick them.
You can like the odds.
You
be
don't
getting
know
on them.
those teams. I mean, Trailblazers, Mavs, Lakers.
The Nuggets without Jamal Murray.
I'll go Clippers Nets. What do you got, BBD?
I'm probably Lakers Nets. It's whichever of Suns Lakers I think is who I'd root for the rest of the way. Whichever comes out of that series. 'Cause I'm a LeBron guy. And I'd want either of them in the finals. And it's hard. I'm not gonna pick against the Nets to at least make it there because it's the best team I've ever seen assembled.
Yeah, and that's
but there were good. There's just good odds on the Sixers and stuff, and they are the 1 seed. Greg sprinkled some cheddar on there, so I did too because can't let him just have that.
Nets.
So there's good odds there if you're looking for betting stuff.
Nets have the most talent, but if they lose, that kind of makes sense. They haven't played a ton together.
Can happen.
Blah, blah, blah. And then Sixers, Bucks. That's kind of wide open for them.
The Sixers, in theory, have themselves a pretty easy route to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're going to get either Washington or the Pacers, depending on what happens tonight. Both of them are 4 games below 500 this year, and aren't going to win a series. It's not going to happen. The Pacers can frustrate you, but they're not going to win a series. And they get the winner of Knicks Hawks, which among the rest of the teams there, you would choose facing them. Last year, the Heat made a run as the underdog team. You wouldn't pick them. You wouldn't want to face Giannis and the Bucks, and you certainly don't want to face the Nets. So they have, in theory, just the easiest path to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So there's just they're good odds there for the sake of being different. I'll say them.
Okay.
So I'll say Sixers, Lakers, but
I like that. That'd be fun.
But my brain says Nets will make it because they kind of If they don't at least make the finals. At this point, with all the moves they made, they like have to win this year, or it's like a failure. You have to bare minimum make it out of the East, otherwise it's like embarrassing.
It'd be bad. It would be a storyline.
They're kind of they're like the only team that like fully did like an arms race.
Like if they lost, I'd say this:
PJ Tucker and stuff, ancillary parts.
Before a Nets elimination game, there would be tweets by either Broussard or by Woj, or I think there would be tweets from legitimate sources that would be like, if the Nets lose this game, blank wants out. Like that's the kind of territory they're in with 3 stars of that magnitude.
We'd hear who blank doesn't fit in, whatever the exact phrase.
Not having a good time. KD wants out. Kyrie wants out. Harden's probably having a blast. He's kind of nasty right now.
Yeah, the rest of the team's frustrated with Kyrie. Or Blake Griffin wants to like start on a team if they don't win here. Whatever it is.
Should meet up with Blake. All right. Do you have a quick bro, BBD? Anyone you want to mention? Shout out.
Randy,
best ever.
Best ever. He was our second choice for the homer draft yesterday, and he hit 2 homers. So that's just how the game works.
How's his season looking? It's getting there.
Yeah, I think he's had like hot weeks, cool weeks. I don't think he's full slumped, but just the team as a whole has not hit great.
1.5 WAR, 360 on base, a 132 OPS plus. Pretty good, not the best ever, but he's getting there.
Their whole team has been just like weird. He's having a comfortably solid season. 132 OPS plus. That's good.
That is good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This was fun.
Good baseball to watch this weekend too, if we feel like mentioning it.
Yeah.
Dodgers, Giants. 2 teams doing well in the West, NL West. Real teams. That's cool. Yankees, White Sox. It's good baseball. I don't know. Flip around.
I like it. Baseball, playoff basketball, PGA Championship. Have a sports weekend. Next weekend's Memorial Day. You might have to do some family stuff. Find some time to lounge a little bit. And guys, John Boy Media, I mentioned Chris Rose rotation, Max Scherzer. I mean, that's just awesome. Talking Knicks with a little playoff preview. That was a lot of fun. Poppy was on that last night. I said, Poppy, is he good at baseball? Talking Nets, they're getting excited for their playoff run. JJR yesterday, really good. Eric Kratz doing things that are bald. Doesn't get much better than that. Mansplain baseball. Sequence. Trevor did Garrett Cole's dominant inning earlier this week. I think he might have a new one today.
I think one comes out tonight or something.
Guys, the breakdowns, John Boy's doing them late night. Check it all out. Thank you, Bakers. I love you. Pinstripe Strange, Pinstripe Strong.
Yanks, baseball,
everything.
You know those.